Good morning, gang. Happy Wednesday morning. So, 3 minutes without air, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food, right? We all know that adage. I don't think we have to worry too much about air. I mean, unless the environmentalists go nuts, the politicians decide to start taxing the air you breathe. Don't give them any ideas, right? Pollutants, whatever. We could talk about that all we want, but at least breathing isn't a luxury at this point. Water, however, is. It's something we take for granted. I talked about this a little last night. You know, you get up in the morning, you're not even awake yet, you throw the light switch, the lights come on. You go to the sink to brush your teeth, to flush the toilet, to turn on the shower, and mindlessly you turn the handle and, wow, there's water. Until there isn't, we take it for granted. We just assume it's always going to work. Take what's going on in Costilla County, Colorado, right now, okay, and has been for the last 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks at this point. Costella County is in southern Colorado, just north of the New Mexico border. It is in the high desert. It is, couple 3 hours south of Denver, couple 3 hours north of New Mexico, or north of Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's rural, all right, which is the place that a lot of preppers live, because we want our privacy, we want some land, we want to be able to grow our food, raise our animals, enjoy nature, and not have to deal with all the perils that come with living in the city. Well, for all those people that live rurally in Costilla County, outside of the local town, Fort Garland, okay, that luxury of brushing your teeth, taking a shower, flushing the toilet disappeared the beginning of the month. Don't think it can't happen to you. What is your water plan? We are talking about an area where you're in the high desert. Most people get their well from a cistern, all right, a buried tank on their, most of the time buried tank on their property that they get filled with water, or they fill it with water, and it's piped into the house. Drilling a well out there is extremely expensive, okay? You'll spend tens of thousands of dollars to drill hundreds of feet with no guarantee of hitting water. They don't hit water, you still have to pay for the drilling, okay? And the county's not giving out permits. Okay, so you don't have a choice but to do a cistern. And so you go with your IBC tote and your pickup truck to the local water filling station, and you get back and forth, however many IBC totes you have, how big of a pickup you have, filling 250, 275 gallons at a time, and you go fill your cistern, right? So that's basically how these people have lived. No problem. Except the city has now turned off, outlawed, the filling of IBC tanks to go transport water to your cistern. So you're not allowed to get it. You know, they'd have to drive about 20 minutes into town, whatever. Usually weekly, it was your typical run. Okay, hey, we're going to go to the grocery store, we're going to stop off, we're going to get water while we're in there. And then the city said, nope, sorry, we don't have enough excess water to give to you. You got to buy it, okay? It was about 10 cents a gallon. You got to buy it. But now they won't even sell it to you. So all those people in rural Colorado here, in Costilla County, don't have access to water. Now remember, in a lot of Colorado, collecting rainwater is illegal, so you can't do that. And considering it's the high desert, it's not that it rains all that much anyway. So you have a huge problem in between the city residents and the rural residents. And when I'm talking city, I'm not talking big. We're talking town, all right? The people don't have access to water. So the people came up with a solution. We'll dig a community well, right? Okay, if it's going to cost $25,000, rather than dig one on my property, we could all chip in and dig one together, right? Makes sense. Sense of community, kind of what you would do in a MAG situation. The county said, nope, no permit, can't do it. They're literally trying to force these people out by not allowing them to have water. Can't collect rainwater. We're not going to give you any. We're not going to sell you any. We're not going to allow you to drill for your own water. The people there are now to the point of, oh yeah, one other good part. If you do have a well on your property, it's illegal to share the water with your neighbors. How about that? Okay. Welcome to a blue state. But this is where we're getting. They now have to drive nearly 2 hours to go somewhere where they can fill their IBC totes to take back to fill their cisterns. You want to talk about rationing your water. We've talked about this many times, about how much water is needed, and FEMA says, a gallon of water per person per day. No, okay, as I've told you, a minimum of 6, because it takes about 6 gallons of water to run a dishwasher, to do a load of dishes, okay? It takes about 13 gallons of water to do a load of laundry. You look at your toilet. Oh, we have these low-flow toilets that take 1.3 gallons of water to flush, okay, each time. Sure, you go out and pee on a tree if you want. It's a little easier for guys than it is for the girls. But restricting water, have you ever given that a thought? As many people want to be preppers, and we talked about this a little bit last night, a lot of people think, I've got food, I've got guns, I'm good. The basic necessities in life, water is the toughest prep of them all, okay? You can come up with shelter, no problem, all right? You could throw a tarp between 2 trees over a rope and you have a net or a tent, and now you are out of the rain or whatever. You can start a fire to heat. You can start a fire for light, People lived for a long time without electricity or without central heating and air. People have never lived without water. It's a necessity to keep your body going. You need it for life. Give thought to your situation. Where can you get water? I mean, somebody asked me last night about our journey, mine and Mrs. P's. And one of the criteria I had was for finding a place was living near a body of water for this specific reason. I dug a pond for this specific reason. Granted, I'm still working on getting it filled. Okay, so be it. But there's water in there. There's a couple, maybe 20,000 gallons of water in it. Okay, I've got some. The lake is here. I've got access to it. Don't have to drive 2 hours to get to it. You see people who buy cases of water and store them. That's not going to last, you guys. What is your water resource? What happens when this comes to your town? You think, oh, this is just Colorado. This is just some little tiny town. Oh, I don't know. Do you think this could happen in Utah, Idaho, Montana, the Dakotas? I mean, those are all high desert areas too, right? Same scenario. Wyoming, certainly. Okay. Could it happen in Ohio, in Indiana? Sure. Okay. All it takes is one little thing to go wrong. The municipal pump system breaks. Oops, you have no water. You've all seen boil water initiatives, right? In different places. Pipe broke, boil your water. What happens when there isn't, we're not fixing that one. Sorry, we're not pumping water out to you anymore. Don't ever say it can't happen. Costilla County, Colorado is an example of it exactly happening, where the city council, where the elected board members decided you aren't worthy to get water. Oh, you want to do it yourself? We're going to prevent you from doing it however we can. You're not going to get a permit. We're going to restrict this. We're going to restrict that. Oh, and if you want to try to sell your property, by the way, we're going to concrete in your well, so whoever the potential buyer is has no water either. Good luck selling your property. They're trying to get rid of people. This is the ultimate objective of these people, these globalists, these liberals, these World Economic Forum supporters, etc., etc. They want us gone. We have to come up with solutions to prevent that, get them out of powers of position, and restore some sanity, some sense of community to our country. The hell with this Barack Obama divisiveness. We need to start working together. Because of all the talk you get about, oh, Abreu Garcia has rights, yada, yada, yada. No, it's human rights, not constitutional rights. I'm sorry, access to water is a human right. Nobody has any God-given authority to restrict you from having it. And any of these Karens that are running these city councils need to be run out of town themselves so everybody else can live a life that was promised them by the Lord Almighty. Pinball out.